Log start. Employee. Day 3. Yesterday's tale was a standard urban legend. I liked it better than a children's book. Although avoiding the ceiling in the dream was a pain in the ass. The rumbling got unbearably loud and just permeates every fiber of your being. Why? I hate it so much. It took me a while to realize that I could just chuck myself into the ocean and hope for the best. The sky counts as a ceiling, and obviously ceilings count as ceilings. But I wasn't sure what would be considered a ceiling if you're underwater, so I decided to trust in the unknown rather than sit around and get taken. I will admit, though, the next time I hear anything weird from a ceiling, I'm going to consider running. The dreams that M3074 induces are extremely vivid, so it's obviously a justified concern. I've been told that the archivist, the person in charge of the database, has been told off for overworking me, especially since he didn't bother marking which cabinets actually contain an instance of M3074. So I get a day off from cabinet opening duty so he can sort that out. The research team, however, is taking advantage of this supposed day off to run a bunch of tests on me and M3074, since the personal tests get erased every time someone disappears. Have you ever wondered how inconvenient it would be if you were to disappear entirely from this world and every record of you was erased? Well, it's extremely inconvenient for the metaphysical department, since they exclusively deal with these kinds of anomalies. I also find it extremely inconvenient that this is the second time I have been assigned to something with a 0% success rate. They call these assignments career enders for obvious reasons. Originally, I thought I was getting an extension on my life, but this is clearly the opposite. Looks like it's time to go to the testing room. I'll end it here for now. End log. Log start. Employee. Night 3. I can barely make out the title, but I'm pretty sure it's just man written over and over again for an entire page. Looks handwritten. Halfway down the page, there's some red ink mixed in. At least I'm going to assume it's red ink and not a biohazard. I've always had an irrational fear. A fear that when I open the door, there will be a man standing there, waiting. A fear that when I turn the corner, there will be a man standing there, staring. Some days it gets so bad that I can't convince myself to open the door, to turn that corner, and I close my eyes and I walk ahead, swing my arms freely in front of me, to convince myself there's nothing there. Today, however, I got a strange phone call. "The man is here," a garbled voice said to me, and with a click it quickly hung up. At the time, I thought to myself, who's the man? The delivery man? I'm not waiting on any deliveries. Maybe they got the wrong number? So I ignored it and I went on with my daily routine, but with a sense of unease that permeated throughout the day. A nagging feeling that maybe something I didn't know had gone terribly wrong. It was around 7:03 p.m. that I realized something was off. I looked out the window and there he stood. A man whose features I could not make out, and who filled me with such dread I could just imagine him standing behind me, breathing down my neck. And I could just tell he was watching me. I couldn't make out his back or his front, but I knew. There was no mistaking it. That feeling could have only come from being watched. I shivered and I scurried back into my room, locking the door hurriedly in fear. And so I huddled in my blankets, listening to music and trying to distract myself from that man that had appeared. But I could not simply go to sleep as I had yet to shower, and so I timidly made up my mind to go to the bathroom. I had not heard him knock on the door, nor stomp around harshly as you would expect from a would-be home invader. It was too quiet, so I convinced myself into going on a foray into the hallway and subsequently into the bathroom. I took my time grabbing a change of clothes and slowly opened the door just a crack. No man. And so I swung the door open, having seen that my fear wasn't justified yet again. There he stood, in the hallway. At the other end, a man standing there staring. I ran swiftly into the bathroom and locked the door, grateful that I had a change of clothes and was about to take a shower. This time not even the hot water could wash away my panic thoughts. I don't know how long I stood in the shower. frozen for. The man, he was here. I won't leave this room. Not if he's here. With those thoughts, I stood in the shower for what felt like hours. Over that time, a theory had arisen in my head. I was just imagining it. There is no man. You've convinced yourself that your fear has come true. There is no possible way there is a man in your house. It was too quiet. It had been too quiet. Soon self-doubt overpowered my irrational fear. The skeptic in me had won, and I stepped out of the shower, changing into my pajamas, ready to open that door. But it had only won by a narrow margin. I reasoned I should still check first. Just a peek, just a crack. And so I did, the trembling in my hands getting worse with the widening of the gap. It was then I saw it. That man, still standing, still staring, unable to even take a breath in that moment. I slapped the door shut and locked it once more, my hands barely working. My breathing jagged, I took a deep breath and cursed at myself for even doubting that he existed. How could I be so foolish as to doubt his existence? Had he not stricken enough fear into me the first time? The man! I decided to splash some cold water on my face to help calm my thoughts. The man! In the mirror there was something that shouldn't have been. The man. I'm here. This hits a little too close to home. I can tell tonight's going to be a difficult one. I'm going to hope for the best. And log.